A former insurance executive takes the helm at the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce. Church leaders being encouraged to get involved in food production. And a virtual Junkanoo parade set to take place on Grand Bahama. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now. Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Indeed a pleasure to be in your company tonight. Topping the news, the newly elected president of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce spending his first day in office as there is no transitional period following a change in leadership. Tonight, Sabrina Brown sits down with the new leader of the business community who is now tasked with navigating local businesses through these challenging economic times.
Retired insurance executive and businessman James Carey now sits at the helm of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, and he's ready to take the business community forward.
I'm looking forward to the challenge. I'm looking forward to embracing the opportunities that are presented to enhance the core objectives of the Chamber, and that is to further the development of businesses through economic growth. There's a lot of room for our economy to grow. There are a lot of tentacles that go into that single word, economy, and I am looking forward to exploring those, working with my new board.
Carey shares what he brings to the top position.
The experience of being in business in Grand Bahama for a long time, 41 years as branch manager of insurance management. So, and necessarily the business of insurance involves a lot of business and different businesses. So I've been exposed to a lot of different types of businesses and the operations over the years. I am in many ways, although experiences, I think I bring a fresh face to the chamber, and that is both good and bad. Because I come in with not a heck of a lot of knowledge on the happenings of the chamber in recent times, so that it's an opportunity to offer my ideas, which are fresh. And it's bad because I simply have to learn a process and glean some more in-depth knowledge on what has been happening so that we can go forward. But in business, you know, it's like riding a bicycle. You really never forget.
The opening of a Solomon Superstore downtown in the coming months is expected to breathe new life into the city center. No doubt good news for many small businesses in the surrounding areas.
We hope that completes very soon and is opened. But the food store by its nature will bring traffic to the downtown area, and so the businesses that have sustained themselves in downtown, I'm sure they're excited and looking forward to the additional traffic that will come, because it will certainly mean some more traffic into their establishments as well, which is all good.
The newly elected president is also hopeful that the government will secure a buyer for the Grand Lucayan property soon.
I'd love to see it sold, and sold as quickly as possible to the right buyer, and that's about all I'm prepared to say on that at the moment. But it needs to happen, as with a number of things. You know, we need an airport. Simple. Our community isn't going to develop and grow without an airport. We have industry, but we depend on tourism a lot. And the hotels are not going to go without guests coming in. And we mentioned Al Lucaia earlier. I'm sure it's a tremendous concern to them that the airport reopened.
Kerry says he's also looking forward to working closely with the Chamber's Executive Director, Mercinth Ferguson. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Well, officials from Convoy of Hope Disaster Services meeting with members of the Grand Bahama Christian Council to discuss food security on the island. The disaster response organization has been on the ground assisting with recovery efforts since the passing of Hurricane Dorian in 2019. They now want to partner with the agricultural community to provide them with training through a grant offered by U.S. Aid. A farmer-to-farmer program designed to take U.S. agriculture specialists to designated countries to conduct training, seminars, and lectures to benefit the farming community is available to stakeholders in Grand Bahama. Global food and agriculture specialist with Convoy of Hope, David Vanderpool, says the grant proposal targets three main groups.
The first is smallholder farmers, so we're thinking backyard gardens, trying to help the household have better food security by producing more of what they consume. So their kitchen has more of the items that they now don't have to purchase in the market because they're growing it themselves. The second group are large farmers, producers, commercial farms, working with them not so much on the technical skills because they're already technically talented, but more on the business side of agriculture. And the third group that we're working with is the Ministry of Agriculture.
Concerning the second group on the business aspect of agriculture, Vanderpool says they will offer training to farmers to advise them on what it takes to move their farming projects to the next level.
Increasing your profitability and your productivity, but then also stuff like marketing your products, bookkeeping, accounting, finding ways to maximize your efficiency, but then also looking at how we can be developing relationships between the large consumers, like the resorts and hotels and cruise ships, and the producers, so that they will be buying more local. And the local farmers here can be meeting the quantity, the quota, the time frame requirements put in place by those consumers.
Senior Director of the International Disaster Services Team, Ryan Grable, says that someday Convoy of Hope will no longer be on the ground distributing relief supplies and helping with recovery efforts. However, he says the church will. That is why they are working through them.
We're here visiting the island today. We just came from Nassau and we'll go to Abaco later in the week to talk with different stakeholders and people that we have relationship with here, from churches to government offices, about what are the needs related to agriculture here. We know that food security is something that's very important in every nation, and that the Bahamas imports a significant amount of supplies and especially food. And so we have an agriculture department in our organization, and are here to meet with pastors in this setting.
President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, Reverend Kenneth Lewis, says they are extremely excited that Convoy of Hope has returned, and he looks forward to the partnership.
I did not work with them during the time they were here on Grand Bahama. Reverend Lockhart worked with them. He was the president then. But I am aware of the wonderful work that they did while they were here. I'm aware of the impact they had on the lives of Bahamians here on Grand Bahama and in Abaco. And so I'm excited that they have returned, and I look forward to working with them. And the only thing I can say is God bless them.
In other news, the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg, toured the new office space of the ministry here on Grand Bahama, where renovations are ongoing. You may recall that the ministry staff was displaced following Hurricane Dorian as the office facilities were destroyed. The new offices located in the Regency Center downtown area is expected to provide much-needed working space for officials and employees in those ministries.
Since Dorian, we have lost our office for the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, and right now we have making the necessary arrangements to ensure that we find an office space for the staff here in Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. And so I'm just checking the Regency Center where we were. We are in a different unit, but we're trying to make sure that the work is in progress so that we meet a deadline within the next 3 to 2 months that we can have this office open for the staff and the additional staff that intend to be coming under the new budget.
Minister Boleg says the new office space gives room for growth as the areas in his ministry will be expanding.
The work is progressing, and I'm pleased and hoping that again within 6 to 8 weeks we should be able to have our staff who has been in a temporary location at the customs building, and it's a little congested, and we want to make sure that they get the same treatment they need it in order to be productive in the work that needs to be done in the north.
A virtual Junkanoo parade in the works for Grand Bahama. The Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Bolag, announcing that the event will take place at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex with participants competing in both categories. However, due to COVID-19 protocols, a limited number of Junkanooers will be allowed to represent each group.
That date is set for May 7th. And what came to this date is that because we have the Duke and Duchess coming to the Bahamas at the end of March, 23rd, 22nd, and they'll be visiting Grand Bahama along with various family islands, and so we don't want to clash with that. And then also too, we have the Easter break right after that, which is Holy Week, and so therefore we thought it would have been fitting and the best time to have the virtual Junkanoo would be the week of May 7th. And so I'm so happy to be here in Grand Bahama to launch the virtual Junkanoo that will be held on May 7th, along with all the A and B group leaders.
Junkanoo leaders were on hand for the announcement. Among them, Thomas Curry, leader of the Platinum Knights. He was thrilled to hear that local groups will be given an opportunity to showcase the culture virtually.
As you know, we didn't have Junkanoo now for about 2.5 years, and we spoke to the minister. You know, New Providence had their virtual in December, and it was a success. So right now, the Junkanoos in Grand Bahama are elated to display the culture and have this event on May 7th. And it's going to be awesome for us. We thank the minister for giving us the chance to showcase our talents and the way we present culture in Grand Bahama. The virtual Junkanoo is going to happen with just the Junkanoo groups, no audience. It's going to be taped. It's going to be actually like how the parade is, with 75 participants from the A category group and 45 from the B category group, including marshals. And it's going to be taped and televised. We're going to perform for 30 minutes, one group after the next. And after that, it will be edited, filmed, and it will be presented to the TV station to be played at a later date.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news when we come back.